What's up, motherfuckers? It is Monday night. It's 8 o'clock. How you doing? Welcome to Braw Cast. I'm Billy Kirkwood. Allegedly, we got ourselves an amazing show for you. Before we kick off, we've got a wonderful Ali here. We're going to be talking to him in just a minute. He's sitting in the green room. We're going to get things rocking. Before we kick things off, first of all, let us know where you're watching. And if you are watching, do us a favor, hit that share button. Let's get as many people on this tonight as we can. I hope you really well. I hope you had a great weekend. Loads of people watching already. Mark K, I've got a comment already. Just making sure everything's still on. Yes, it is. Always time for the technical ones. Let's see, we've got Mark K watching. We've got Lindsay Young, Colin Fury, William watching all the way in Glasgow. In fact, what's this? We've got David Anderson watching all the way from Tennessee. What the fuck? How have you ended up there? The way it works here at Braw Cast is it's conversational. You are the other person that's a part of this interview. So if you have any questions tonight, especially for Ali here, the bearded ninja, fucking yes. Well, here's what you do. Hit us up in the comments. It's that easy. Hit us up in the comments. We get some brilliant questions in, and we can have ourselves a bit of a laugh as we go on. Before I get any further, though, one quick bit of business. Make sure to check everything that's going on at brawbeardoils.com. We can get all the latest Braw Beard gear, including making you look sexy. This is not Braw Beard gear. John will be fucking raging. Make sure to get your latest Braw Beard gear. You can wear it out. Amazing Clays. Amazing Clays. How schemy as fuck that on the Monday night. Sorry, it's because I had a shake just before I started. Make sure to check out all the latest apparel, clothes, t-shirts, neck, a chief gator things. I'm pretty sure they're called neck gaiters, snapbacks, everything you need. And don't forget the reason why we're here. You can get Braw Beard oils, and of course, make sure to check out Chocolate Orange back in stock. Shall we kick things off? Let's see. We've got a whole bunch of people watching. Air, Kelso. Let's get started. Ladies and gentlemen, delighted to welcome our guest tonight. Let's get plenty of questions on. Loads of folk watching. Give it up for the bearded ninja. Fucking yes. He's going to be so raging of doing that. Sorry. Ali, hey! Ali, how you doing, mate? Sorry, I wanted to build you up as much as I can. Ali, before I nearly did. Listen, I'm at that age now, mate. I pulled a muscle yawning the other day. That is not good. That is not good, man. How the devil are you, mate?
Yeah, good, man. I'm good. Yeah, just chilling out tonight. Finally got home from work today and just relaxing, waiting for this to see what the crack is while the punter's watching tonight.
Well, we got loads of good questions coming in already. I've got to ask this before we kick off. What's the big foam fingers in the background?
Oh, those are actually the ones you get at the stadium. So you can only get them at the Ninja Warrior Stadium. Like, so I pinch as many as I can every year. I
bet, man. I think I've still got mine from like SummerSlam 1992 from like WWF or something. Kicking about some. Oof, if only nobody's getting it, mate. That's going. No, even my kids are getting that. I'm getting buried with that. You were at work today before we got into it. Is this you getting set up with the new Ninja Warrior Edinburgh?
Yeah, that's it. Just back at the site, we were doing our first kind of major deep clean with all the anti-COVID gear and stuff. It's like basically a Ghostbuster pack. You've got various chemicals and stuff that probably not trained to use, but we'll figure that one out later. And just looking good. The site's ready to roll. We're taking private bookings and whatnot. But
brilliant.
It's been a journey.
I bet, man. I bet. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll get like a proper chat about it later. We've got some brilliant questions getting in. Let's kick off with the somber part. So, where did you grow up, Ali? Where did you grow up?
So, Kelso and the Borders, pretty much most of my path. Been all over Scotland, I'd say as a whole, is just my home. I've lived in the Highlands loads. I've lived in Edinburgh. To be honest, everywhere. And with an events company, that's my background. So I'm never, from pretty much March to September, I'm on the road all over Scotland, really. Anyway, so I've always been a bit of pikey. I've never really had much. I've always kind of lived out a bag and just. That's how I preferred it. You know what I mean? This is all this adult stuff with responsibilities and wardrobes and ironing. I'm not into all that really. No much.
Listen. Responsibility doesn't get you a foam finger. That's a fact. Responsibility does not get you a foam finger. Now, normally, like you say, you'd be absolutely. I mean, I know you're busy, but you'd be absolutely chocker right about now.
Yeah, chocker in a different way. I'd be actually earning money for a start. Second one would be training. Yeah, this time of year we've got heaps of comps on. So. Where are we? August? August. So actually, this week we'd be getting ready to film. Normally for Ninja Warrior UK. And then I would have come off the back of a bunch of other international shows we had lined up, and they obviously got cancelled. It sucked. So, but yeah, normally right now it's a whole different kind of busy. So
that's it. So what's the plan with those cancelled competitions just now? Have they just been moved back to next year?
You know what? Everybody's proper winging it. Australian Ninja Warrior, they got like halfway through filming, and they had like a socially distanced crowd. Yeah, they did a really good job. Socially distanced crowd, and then by the end, when they filmed the finals, they almost had to pretty much just lock it down to a camera and then pretend audio for the crowd. And it still looked shit hot, but you know, I feed off the crowd, so I don't know how I'd be in that environment compared to normal. It might make you relax a bit, but I don't like that. I like the freaking vibes, you know, like yourself on the stage, man in front of the crowd, kind of jazz. But
it feeds an athlete, especially. It feeds an athlete having the crowd there, giving you good, makes you stretch that a wee bit further, doesn't it?
Oh, every time. Like, I mean, to be honest, with Ninja, I always say like it's like I'm like a dog in a dream, you know, like I just fucking running about and just like chasing things, but all you can hear is that constant roar. And that's a big thing for me. Like when I'm competing, a lot of folk hate it and they like shell up. But I'm the opposite. I like it.
All right, I've just realised as well. We do have a mutual friend who's actually just jumped in the comments there. Scott Brown,
Scotty boy.
There he is. Scott, just so you know, I lost all that weight and then I put it all back on during lockdown. I always feel like he's watching me, but he was actually busy doing competitions the other week. I don't know. It makes me nervous now that he's watching, so I'm making sure I'm filming from the nipples up. Because this bit looks all right. But there's you with your muscle vest on, looking amazing.
He's one of the fittest guys going, Scott. Like one of the fittest guys going.
Oh my God! It's like every time he's also casual about it. I'm running for 5 days in Tennessee or something like that. Crazy. But I've got to ask, right? The journey to Ninja Warrior, it's quite a journey for you. Where did you go in terms of when you were at school? Were you fit at school, took part in sports at school, or was that something that came about later?
I mean, sport-wise, I was always quite lucky with that. It was kind of one of the only things I was actually good at. So it was, to me, that was where I kind of shone. But again, I never had much focus, so I found it hard to dial in. I played basketball since I was about 7. I mean, you know, my height, I'm only like 5'9". I'm not tall, but I became one of the first players in Scotland from my region. I was the first from my region. But yeah, I was starting point guard at 16-year-old for the under-18s. So it was good. I got to high level, and then injury kind of set me back like everyone else, really. But to be honest, I didn't have like, you know, all the other ninjas have all got like really cool background sports. So like, yeah, I'm an Olympic gymnast, or like I'm an ex-parkour movie stuntman or something. And that's me on James Bond. And I'm like, I kind of skateboarded, snowboard, bit of basketball, and I've not really got any background in it. But that was pretty much it for me, sport-wise. I did loads of any sport I could do, I would do it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So what was the journey to when you left school? Were you just kind of trying all these different things, or did you think this is going to be a career? I just don't know where I slot in this yet.
To be honest, Ninja wasn't really. I mean, I did watch the Japanese one when I was a bear, and I remember I've got a really vivid memory of it, but I didn't have like any sporting goal of any sort. I travelled all the time. I travelled every year all over the world, and I'd live abroad, I'd work abroad, and then I kind of had the bearings settled down, and we got a business under our belt, and I already was working with my old man for years as part of his bar company, so it was an easy transition in that, and we just kind of worked together for the last I can't remember, since I was about 24, 25. But I knew there was something coming up. I didn't really know what I was going to do with it. Like, you know, you kind of do all this training, and I was training every day. I trained every day since I was about 13. Yeah. And then I was still doing it in my 20s. And it was one of the things where you weren't really sure what you're training for. And then Ninja came up, and then that was it. Boom, focus. And then suddenly, now we're here in a really odd situation.
So it was kind of weird because like Ninja Warrior became a sort of household brand here in the UK. Really only like the last maybe 10 years, something like that. It seemed to maybe a wee bit longer than that. I'm trying to think.
No, you're right, mate. It's less than that. I mean, we only really had it's been running 6 years properly now, but the Japanese one and the American one had started filtering because I started seeing a lot more of it on social media. Yeah, and I knew about that before I knew about the UK one.
Is that how you? Is is that how you find out about Ninja Warrior? Did you watch it as a fan, and then the UK one came about, and you went fancy a bit of that?
No, it was genuinely a boy in my gym. I trained it, and Kelso was like, he was watching me train one day. He's like, "You'd be good at that Ninja Warrior UK," and I was like, "We've got a show over here," like, and he was like, check it out. They're looking for folk." And then I got on it, and then I did really well, and I was like, "Oh, that was good. Let's see if I can swing about there again." I remember filming my application video out in the garden in the snow, and I was like, had a 1-year-old, and I was in the garden in the snow trying to frigging film this thing, trying to figure out what I was going to say for it. And,
I wish I had that video. I wish I had the video. What did you do for your video then? What did you do for your audition video?
Just a proper clown. Like, it was like, went through my sports, like basketball, and I would throw it miles away. Like skateboard, and just flip the board away. And just naff. I made it sound super naff. I was like gymnastics, but like forward roll. And it was just like, I cut it and edited it so it looked really shit, as if I was a bit of a spaz, and I was hoping they would see that and think, "This guy, is he serious or not?" Like,
so it goes like back to the Big Brother thing, doesn't it? When they're going like, "We're gonna get this guy on, this guy is ratings," and then
that's it. Totally.
You turn up. That's the most Scottish thing in the world, man. That's amazing. You basically tricked them into going, "We're gonna get this boy. This is gonna be a car crash. This is gonna be a car crash."
Yeah, hey, listen, their techniques, what they do, right? So when you go an audition, they basically get you in, and you have 2 scores to get, really. You've got your front of the camera, personality, kind of whatever score, and then you've got your fitness score. So you do these pretty hardcore fitness tests, they score you, and then they do the personality one. And one of these has to shine. If 2 of them do good, you're probably in for a good run. And you see some absolute crackers on there, like hilarious, really funny, but they're not even probably past health and safety level for even getting on the stage, and they're thinking, that might be a lawsuit there. We probably just shy away from that. Because you get the other guys that are like shit hot, but they've got, the personality of Sandal, and you're kind of like, that's not going to fly. So they've got tricky decisions to make. I'm an easy bet because I'm a clown either way, so it's funny, it's going to work one way or another, right?
Do you think that attitude going into it, do you think that helped you? Like, because I mean, you see it in cross-training competitions, CrossFit competitions, sorry, and you see it in a lot of these other like triathlons and what have you. They get the guys that are so intense they're almost forgetting to kind of enjoy the experience, and they sort of end up struggling. Do you think the fact that you had that wee bit of heart and that wee bit of enjoyment sort of helped you?
It does. It's mental because you can so easily slip in that hole. I've seen myself really easily just suddenly I'm so focused that I'm forgetting what I'm doing. There is times to channel. There is times that I'll zone in because I need to get my head right. And I'll just block everything out. Like, they started doing a lot of stuff on the show where they put us in reaction rooms, and there's about 40 lights on you, and there's cameras all about you the whole time. And if you watch the episodes, you'll never see me in that room. Because the other guys, they'll stay in the room. It might be the first time on the show or whatever. I'm like, I'm not in here. This is torture for me. I can't watch these guys because I didn't like watching it. I'm away backstage just knobbing about the stadium, thinking about see if I can pinch in it and take it home. Can just try to take my mind off what's about to happen, because I hate hearing, I like it when I'm on the stage, when I'm backstage and I hear them all roaring, I'm like, oh God, I know they're there. Yeah. Like before you step in front of the curtain, you can hear them and you're like, oh Jesus.
Sometimes I can feed you a wee bit, but I like it to be. It sounds daft. I mean, I'm not even for a second going to do the comparison between the two of us in terms of what we do. But in terms of, I like knowing they're there. I like knowing there's a crowd, but I'll focus on what's happening here. Do you know what I mean? Because if you let that get into your head, you're fucked. If you walk on that stage, oh Jesus, there's 100 people out there. Oh God, or there's 1,000. It's like you're fucked. They've got in your head and.
Gives you the heebie-jeebies. I love that. I've got a really vivid imagination. So when I train, a lot of the time what I do is I can get, if I shut my eyes for a wee minute and I genuinely think about it, I'll incite an adrenaline spike, which is quite good for training because it can actually make parts of you feel kind of almost jelly-ish in some sense, because it sends such a shock through your body that you're kind of you're not your normal self. So when I train something, especially in the run-up to the show, I do that a lot. It's so easy to incite because the crowd's there's such vivid memories. But it definitely helps being able to do that. And I think I do it a lot of the time for the other guys who are there, who look like they're literally about to freaking, get hit by a bus or something. They're terrified. They're like, you can see it in their faces. You can smell the fear just walking about the place.
They're beat before they get out there. They're beat before they get out there.
Some folk get out there and they find that edge that actually they didn't know they had. They're like, wait a minute, because that's my first time in front of crowds like that. I've had run events and stuff for years with thousands of folk, but not really at any point did I have to kind of be like, everybody have a look right here. You're about to watch something happen. Again, there was never that point. It was just you were responsible for all these folk and you were letting things happen. But like, that's different. There's 5,000 folk there and there's about 5 million folk watching at home. So you're suddenly like, holy bejeebus. There's like a lot of eyes watching you there. And now there's a lot of pressure on me every time I go out there. Like, they're always keep me to the last, and they have all these certain chants that they shout before I come out, so I can hear them chanting all the stuff, which is cool because it's like in my head, like you're saying, like the wrestling and that when you were younger. But same time, it's like, oh god, now I've got to do something about it. I have to actually do something here, or this is going to be a bit of a letdown. Like, so.
Jesus. I've just noticed. Apparently, we have subtitles on tonight for some bizarre reason, and like I said, Ali, you just bought a stage, and Billy, you're feeding your weaver.
Feeding your weaver.
I think I don't even want to consider what my weaver is. I wish you could see them. Right. We got to talk about this though. All right, so you get to Ninja Warrior. It's very exciting for you. Is it just a bit of fun? Yeah, I mean, you've trained really hard, but is your attitude going into it? Do you know I'm going to come along? I'm going to have a blast. If it doesn't work out, that's fine. I'll go and do something else. Or are you like, I want to fucking win this? Do you need that going into this?
I think for me, I'm always pushing to be the best. I can't lie for that. Like, I mean, for me, when I'm out there, it's an odd sport, right? The best parallel I can give you is golf. So you are in a linear path next to these other people who have the same thing in front of them, but do it in their own way. But you're all competing against each other, but you're also competing against the thing in front of you. It's like OCR, it's like all that. It's like, and I think the beauty of that is you can really decide how you want to compete in regards to what you're doing it for. Some folk are doing it to prove to themselves they can get from here to here. Some people are proved to themselves that they got fit and they got strong and they can do this. And some folk are there to be like, right, I know who these athletes are. These are some of the best guys on the planet for everything, from free running to gymnastics, you name it. And I'm going out there going, I'm going to beat that Olympian. I'm going to beat that champion. I'm going to beat that stuntman. And then making it happen. And then I take one off the box. But at the same time, I want them to do well. It's really odd. Like, I'll give them all the tips and tricks I can give them. If they come to me and they say, how did that feel? What did you do? I was like, definitely don't do this technique. Do this one because you're going to feel it. And it's really odd because there's a sense of community that I've never had from a sport where you'd actually give up your tips and tricks to help your rival. And we all train and we all pal about and we have a great time. And it's I love that aspect of it. I think for me though, going forward, it's always about being the best. And now with the business, I'm tied into Ninja Warrior. I'm tied into Ninja as a brand, which is a Japanese-owned brand now, probably more than nearly any other ninja on the planet. And there is thousands of them. Because not only am I linked with a ninja gym, but it's ITV's ninja gym, which is theoretically Japan's ninja gym that I own, but I'm also a ninja. So I'm in this really odd position right now that I've created, of course, but I haven't quite come to terms with how that's going to play out over the TV and stuff. Like, don't really know what to think about it.
The thing is, and you touched on it there, Ninja as itself is almost a brand, or people's understanding of it. You need to be such a hybrid kind of athlete as well to even do that. You know, it's because like you mentioned in the obstacle course, I mean, you've got to have like an understanding of parkour. God, there's so much in there, like gymnastics, athletics in a very different sense, mountain climbing, free running. There's all these different things in there because, I mean, certainly in the ones I've watched, and I had great delight in watching some of it this afternoon, was the number of people that strike out the gate. And you go, I mean, it's all very well and good going, he's fucked it. But these guys are world-class athletes. Yeah. And it's probably the most leveling thing I think I've seen in the world. It's like you said, everyone's sharing techniques, top of their game, best going. but it is the most unique setup that I think is probably out there of any. I mean, I saw one commentator, one pundit there, he sort of described it as an obstacle course, but it's really so much more than that.
Yeah, there's a huge amount of aspects there. You got to be a bit of a mongrel, really, and find all these kind of meshes, but also to your body type. So in my past life, I qualified as a PT when I was younger, and I didn't really do it as a job, I guess. I did it just to learn, and mainly because I didn't know anything else to do in my life. But I learned so much physically. I've experimented with my build. I've fluctuated up and down muscle-wise, body fat, endurance, blah, 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 to see what fits me personally. And then you get somebody who's a gymnast at Olympic, Commonwealth level, come in and be like, stand out in his game, used to thousands of people watching, but finds it really intimidating that everybody's watching him. It's there's no 3 or 4 things happening and loads of other. It's like you are now on the hang and you've got these famous folk commentating about you and all that, and then it's all the, and they're even backstage are hating it. And I'm like, I thought these guys would be used to it, but I think everybody finds that there's different pressures that come with it. And then, like you said, if you get out there, you got a really good, maybe, I don't know, skill. But if you don't have a few of those other ones to back you up, it can be really difficult. So I think Ninja itself now has been around long enough, certainly in America, certainly in Japan and stuff, that it's officially a sport in America, it's officially a sport in Japan. But it's the only sport I know that's came from the TV to become a sport. I never known any other that's done that.
That's it.
And it's an odd principle to use because you kind of had the money game sorted from the start, which a lot of sports don't get. Like, see, skateboarding and all that, I did that growing up, but it never had the money game behind it. Now that's getting there. Now it's at Olympic level. And it's almost fast-tracked us. And you've got these dudes who are part of the OCR Ninja Federation with this big body that's taking it to Olympic committee, and they're running with it. And they're like, boom, let's get this going. Let's get this happening. I mean, in 10 years' time, I could be coaching the first Jenny Olympians. And to me, it's smart for me to stay in the game because I would love to be able to bring my knowledge to the game and help, these athletes coming up.
It's an evolution. It's an evolution of sport, isn't it? I mean, you look back at even MMA, for example. MMA was not a thing. And I said it was a thing that was done in closed doors, and look at how huge that is now. You've got Pride, UFC, now you've got Ninja Warrior. Like you say, it was kind of big in America and Australia, and now it's came over here, and it's become a live sport, an actual live sport, which people are now, even at school level. I mean, the secondary school guys that are now going, want to be a Ninja Warrior, and they're training for that now.
Struck it there. MMA was the fastest growing sport in the last decade, and Ninja Warrior was the second fastest growing sport in this decade. So there's your two that you just nailed both of them. Like, they both came up so quick, and the kids now are absolute machines. Like, my 4 and 7-year-old are like ridiculous, and it's just you watch them and you're going, these guys are going to be something else. But not just that, they do is before lockdown and all that, they were doing a lot of obstacle courses, or calling it ninja obstacle courses, whatever they're calling it, in PE and things, because it's fairly easy to set out, but it targets, in Scotland especially, we've got, Lindsay's going to kick me for this, it's like the such and such curriculum for excellence, and it's basically about ticking certain boxes and including certain aspects of everything, physically and mentally, into education. And Ninja does that on so many levels. It's a really good tool for them to be like, right, jump through that hoop, crawl across, chuck a beanbag over there, across the bench, and the Bairns are wild for it. They're like, oh, best day of my life, so.
It's always something we've always had the athletes. I know people will criticise us, saying, "Oh, you're wee and you're dumpy and you're hairy and what have you," but everyone else. But we've always had the athletes. We've always had the talents. We've maybe not had the athletic setup. I mean, you see it in football. I mean, it's only now we're reaping the benefits of like the youth coaching system that every other country in Europe has had for like 20 years. And now, like you say, we're looking for more unique ways to get young athletes interested. And I see it. I mean, I can see it from a pro wrestling point of view. And I know some people might laugh at that, but you can actually see the evolution of athletes. Like every 10 years, there's that wee jump, and there's that wee jump again, there's that wee jump again. So the next generation, the guys you're going to be coaching that are going to be going to the Commonwealth and the Olympics, they're going to be off the chain. They're going to be off the chain.
That's it. America's now getting its kind of first generation of kid viewers who are now old enough to do the show, the adult show, But then also, they've got a side series called American Ninja Warrior Junior.
Yeah.
Which is all these kids, and they race them against each other. And then I'm like, what the hell? I was out there competing one year, a couple of years ago, I think, and I was watching the families. And, right, so the adult stand, where all the adults were and their supporters, was maybe about 500 folk. And then that side was all your soccer mums and all that jazz. And they were like wild for it. They were bringing picnics. It was like a full family affair. And I was like, this is just like another sport for them. Track meets, you know, Americans do everything huge, innit? They do everything massive. So, it's exciting for me to see it and to have the first kind of Ninja Warrior UK Adventure Park in Scotland and be able to bring it at a family level, I think is something I'm pretty stoked at.
Those are the guys we need. It's the families, it's the young kids, because they're the ones. The young kids think it's cool because dad and uncle and auntie and mum and they're doing it. They'll think it's cool, and then it all builds up and it becomes boom. We're filling Murrayfield.
That's it, man.
It could happen. Right. We've got a couple of things. We've got to talk about this. Certainly. How did you feel though getting branded the Bearded Ninja? how did that nickname stick? Was that something you had going into it, or was that something that the commentators or the guy backstage, or was something you went, that's my identity, I'm having that? How did the Bearded Ninja come about? Because it's a great ID, man.
It's a good one, you know, and it's funny because it was a fairly it wasn't a big beard. It wasn't as big as it is now. I've always kept it kind of like within the same range, but it was shorter by then. It was a bit more basic, and I was like, oh yeah, cool. I got a nice wee beard on the go. But it was, I don't know. It was Ben Shepherd, who was like our bearded ninja. He kept on calling me the bearded ninja, and I know business. I immediately went into that show going, right, I need to brand myself. I need to get a colour scheme lined up. I need to get logos lined up. I need to get all this stuff ready to print ASAP. So I was running through names, and he kept rolling on it, like going on about the bearded ninja. And I was like, you know, it makes sense, to be honest. And it's simple to remember. It's not hard. Like, it's not some quirky name or a big long name. And Ali Hay is like the two easiest names you can ever freaking remember. So I thought, Ali Hay, the Bearded Ninja, there's your title. It's like your wrestler name, or it's like your...
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's a little bit of showmanship, and it doesn't do any harm. I mean, I know that from pro wrestling. I mean, there's a guy who used to wrestle for us called Big Damo from Ireland, big bruiser of a boy. He's the Beast of Belfast. Works now for WWE. People remember the Beast of Belfast. You know, you get it with loads of, so it doesn't, a bit of showmanship doesn't go. I mean, the notorious Conor McGregor didn't do him any harm.
No, you've got to come up with a name. You've got to brand yourself. You've got to be smart. I'm really keen to get a lot of the other ninjas up on that level. I think I'm the only ninja really in the UK that actually can charge to go places and open gyms or make appearances and things. And it was mainly because I sat down and was like, you need to be something sellable. You need to make yourself almost as an asset and know how to sell that. And once people can look at that and go, right, how much is this time worth? That's when you're going to get paid. They're not going to look at you and go, here, big in. You got an hour we can fire in, because he's like, oh, they can. What's my fuel? What's my, you know? You need to know. And it's
a silly thing, but I can only say from a stand-up point of view, and it'll be the same with musicians. It's the same with anybody with a trade. At the end of the day, you might go, oh well, that's, you know, it's just an hour. He's just coming down to, you know, open a shop, or you're just doing 20 minutes on a stage. It's like, yeah, but there's all the work, there's all the preparation that went into getting to that point, and then what are you doing with it when it goes in? And like you say, you're working with kids, you're working with other athletes, you're opening in Edinburgh. We've got to talk about this because I've seen some of the stuff, and loads of people are asking questions about the Ninja Adventure Park in Edinburgh, right? We've got to talk about this because you certainly see, it's the most unique thing that I've seen in Scotland. I mean, you get your trampoline parks, which is probably about the only thing that even comes vaguely close to it, but it's not even... It's a mile. It's a mile away from it. Do you know what I mean? It's the difference between a centimetre and a mile. You gotta tell me. So, what motivated you to do this? Because you like you say, you've got a brand. You're known for this. What made you want to hook in and open your own adventure park? What was the thinking behind it?
I mean, to be honest, it was one of the things where I've always been involved in, like, you know, any form of entrepreneurship if I can get my hands on it. You know. My dad's been a grafter, my mum's a grafter. I've watched them all my life and seen how they'll turn their hand to anything to make a buck and to, you know, make a living. And then at the same time, I'm doing I know how to run a business. I know how to navigate in it. I'll learn it. It's not going to be a problem. If I've never done it before, it'll be fine. I'll learn it. But I'm a ninja with now a reputation, etc. And then I've got this business background. And I was already starting to advise ITV on the obstacle side of things and things like that. So they got me in as an advisor. But I mean, previous to that, I'd already been trying to plan my own one. It was just very hard to get the financial backing as I was just getting into Ninja. I didn't have quite the same name behind me, blah, blah, blah. And it was very difficult to me to finance this. Even still, it was incredibly difficult. I had to put everything I own and everything else on the line physically to get enough finance to actually get this going. But my main goal was to say, listen, Scotland always gets left behind. There's always somewhere else that they can put their money into. There's somewhere else they can build it, because for whatever reason, even though we got the same population basis, and you look at Edinburgh, a pretty wealthy population on the whole, they'll still not invest in it. And I'm like, right, Newcastle's got, I think, 6 trampoline parks and an inflated space, which is a big inflatable park.
Yep.
And it's only a bit bigger than Edinburgh, but Edinburgh's got like 2 trampoline parks, and then Musselburgh's got 1. And
they're very basic, aren't they? They're very basic, those ones.
The thing is, they're probably some of them are about, Rise is nearly 6-year-old now, maybe 6-year-old, 7 even maybe. And I mean, that's great, but it's very difficult for you to expand. So the Ninja Warrior Park is designed so it's a huge big truss and like on the show, and it's modular. So I design all the stuff for ITV, so it comes straight from me or the show right to these parks. We just make them more family friendly, which means we can swap them. So it's not a case of, right, I've got 40 trampolines in the same shape and I've got a big building through it and we just jump about. That needs to come, right, the crowd, our audience is actually getting really good at this kind of obstacle. Let's switch it out. Let's put this one in. Let's add a new one. So we just switch it around every maybe 6 months or so. The inflatable, I designed it in 3 parts. So although it's a big twin lane racetrack with a big airbag at the end and all that jazz, you can do time trials, you can have just fun, you can mess around. It's got the big balls from Total Wipeout for the old Total Wipeout show where they fall and then it's a big ball put underneath. And it's just really good fun, but it's tiring. It's really tiring, but it's good for the younger ones especially. But again, I can take one of those elements away and design another one, stuck it in, and you've got another brand new feature. And I think with the Ninja Warrior UK especially, because it is a big show, it's a big name, we go all in about making it an experience. It's about, you want to walk in there and feel like you're in the show. It's not just like we've slapped a bit of paint on the wall. It's like blacked out. You've got LEDs lighting everything up. You've got your proper signage. All your advertising's like high end. And it just looks the deal. And I mean, that's where the graft went in, really, was just putting all the details and the touches in. But it's worth it, it looks good. And it's the kind of place that, I mean, the closest one to Edinburgh is 5 hours south. So if you're going out, which I know a lot of people have drove to that, I've asked them on their database, what's your database, and all the other directors, what's your postcodes looking like for Scotland? And they're like, we've got plenty on here for Scotland, loads. So people are travelling all the way down there because it's classed as a destination venue, which means people will travel 2 to 3 hours to reach it because it's something totally different, totally fun, different experience for the day. You come away sore, you come away feel like you deserve that pizza and the cafe after it, and it's like, it's family fun at its finest. And to be honest, especially after lockdown, it's a big thing I want to promote, because I've seen families out jogging, I've seen them out walking, I've seen them out in the park, and for me it's always been about saying to folk, if you set an example to your younger ones that you're out there fit and healthy, then they're going to grow up thinking that's a norm. I remember my mum doing Keep Fit and watching her the whole time and getting involved, and it was just normal to see that. So if that's how it works on an impressionable young person, imagine they're seeing their dad or a mum flying about on these things, whether they're upside down or they're actually completing it. 2 different stories, but it's still, for them, they're like, oh, cool. You know what I mean? And people are keen. I mean, especially like you said, you nailed it here with lockdown and what's going on in the planet with the global bastard. I try not to mention it too much in this, but people are keen to find different ways to get healthy, find different ways, and it's something that they can invest in. It's something they can tag on to. I mean, if you enjoy it, and I'm sure there's going to be a dozen PTs or whatever is screaming at the video right now, but if you do enjoy it, then you're going to come back again and again and again. I mean, I've seen some of the pictures and stuff online. It looks some laugh. I mean, I am, oh God, I'll level with you. I am 20 pounds of the wrong side of where I should be, but it makes me go,
And, if I did that a couple of times a month, that's going to help everything else I already do. And I'll want to come back again and again and again. And the fact that I can take my kids, that's really going to help people. Now, there's a couple of things coming in, a couple of questions I've got to ask you about the adventure park, because there's a whole bunch of people asking about it. First of all, someone's asked, when am I going to try it? As soon as I can. That's from Mark K. As soon as I can. This one here, sent by Jackie. She saw the pictures on Facebook. So can any level of fitness manage the new Ninja Center, or does it need to be a sort of basic level? What would you say to people?
Yeah, Jackie, no, honestly, we have had a mix of inquiries from so many different backgrounds. I can see what kind of people were pulling in. And when we designed the park, so I sat down on paper and I looked at it and I was kind of like, right, what's the best way to achieve as many obstacles as you can for your base level fitness? And the main goal is to come in there and complete, maybe if you can complete a third of the obstacles in the harder area and the majority of the ones in the inflatable, you're going to come away feeling, you know what, I actually did pretty decent there. Yeah. And then the next time you come, you're looking going, I think I could probably do that this time. Because if I'm honest with you, most people take a solid 20, 30 minutes just to shake off the old cobwebs. It's one of the ones where you're stretching in places you've no stretched for a little while. Yeah. And you're kind of going, holy Moses, like you're feeling it. And you feel the best, the way people describe it to me and the way I can remember back to it is whenever people speak, they go, I've developed or felt parts of my body I've never felt for decades. And that to me means good. That's you waking up. That's you being like, right, I'm loosening off a bit. But also that confidence comes with trial and error. And especially we all posture. We're adults, so we posture. We try and look good. We think everybody gives a shit, but nobody gives a shit. And we think everybody's going to post it on Facebook. Nobody's going to post it on Facebook. Maybe somebody's going to post it on Facebook. But the main thing is it's about trying it, feeling it, and you might not be able to do half of them. You might only get, say, 3 or 4 out of the 15 you tried. But that 3 or 4 you'll be stoked with and you'll be chuffed a bit that you got them. And it's that bragging rights kind of thing. And if you do it as a group effort or family effort or something, the whole thing's just a bit of a crack. It's good fun. Yeah. And like you said, it is something that it's an experience. It's something different. So that's the main thing that I'm really excited about is bringing that to people. And you're going to find some folk who are going to find talents. Like myself with Ninja, I didn't know I was going to be good at it. And it's those folk who are going to go, wait now, I could maybe do good. And then they're the ones who are going to be on the show in the next 2 years smashing it. And they'll be the ones doing the line. I'm excited to see what happens there too. You know what I mean?
And it's so unique as well, because you'll even get you'll get Morag. She's 40. She goes to boot camp every month. She's fit as a fiddle, but she's never done something like that. And she's going to see it. She's going to see the ninja, and she's going to go, I'm going to give that a go. And you know that it's going to be a whole wave for all these different ages of sort of generation of fitness. And I hope we'll see plenty of brothers on there as well, because
like the brothers and the sister. I can't wait to get them in because I've had a load of them excited about it, and you can tell they're all posturing as well, being like, I forget, I'll smash it. But you see they're going to walk in there and go, oh my God, what we doing here?
As soon as you have to go up a rope ladder or anything like that, you're going to bloody know about it. But it's funny that you get people that can do like basic stuff on it, but they can't do a push-up, and they don't realize like the difference. You're just bringing all these things together, and it's I think it's amazing, man. I think it's going to be a huge hit. And like you say, you're doing private bookings just now, but fingers crossed, as soon as Auntie Nicola lets us do things, hopefully we'll be able. And I know you were saying just before we went on air, you're cleaning the place. It's as safe as can be. You're taking all the measures to make sure it's as safe and
it's clean. Like Ghostbusters in there, mate. It's honestly like spent about $5,000 just getting COVID stuff, and it's like I feel like I'm walking about and I'm checking things are clean and I'm looking around and I feel like I don't know. I just feel really odd because to me, clean and tidy, nice and clean and tidy. But that you're at this new level now, and I've read so many. I've written so many. Risk assessments and stuff now. I feel like I'm double checking my risk assessments, and it's pretty mental. But yeah, private bookings at the minute until the end of August because it's the only thing we can do. I mean, we've only just done our first couple because we just started taking bookings about 4 or 5 days ago. In fact, they've actually just booked again for the end of the month. That's how much they enjoyed it. So they were our first customers and they've already booked back.
And how many people was that, Ali? How many people was that?
That was only a group of 11, mate. That was only a group of 11, and it was 2 family units, and they had mixed age of kids and adults, and they just had an absolute ball. and they get, because it's private hire, you're getting the whole park to yourself, so you're no worries there. And then we're taking September and October birthday party bookings at the venue, or group bookings, or whatever bookings for that, in the hope that we can be live at that point and trading to an extent. But we will see. Like you say, I think fingers crossed. I've managed to get them taking it to Parliament this week on behalf of all the fitness industry. So they're going to be running through Parliament, and they're putting in a motion to get it brought forward to the last week in August rather than the second week in September. So if that was to pass, I'd be stoked.
You know something, and it's one of the crazy things about this, and I'm not giving Parliament a hard time. I know it's not an easy cross the bear and everything that's going on just now, but it mystifies me that gyms, I know PTs, yoga instructors, the gyms are some of the cleanest places you will find. But we can go to a scabby pub. That's all I'm saying. And I'll leave it there. Right. Last thing we're going to talk about, how did you get involved with Braw Beard? How did you get involved with Braw Beard?
Funny one, actually. So my sister and JJ's sister know each other, and
all right.
So I had been on another beard brand for a bit, and what it was is I came off it, and I was like, I always try and keep things as local as I can. I always try and keep things just either as basically from where I am and expand it. And I always like to represent the brands. And then I'd known a Braw Beard for a little while. I didn't know where they were based really or whatever. My sister was like, that's Gigi's her brother. He's got Braw Beard. You should give him a message. And I was like, where are they about? And she was like, oh, they're Musselburgh. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. I literally did just up the street, really. So sent him a wee message. And he'd actually just, I think, filled their athlete profile for a year. And I was like, Andy, what is, man? Just look me up. If you need me or whatever. And then he came back to me, I think it was about a week later, and he was like, listen, bugger it, let's sort something out. And we've just worked together ever since. We've done quite a lot of wee bits and bobs. We've got some things hopefully coming up fairly soon. And great partnership. And obviously, we do the Braw event every year, which is absolutely awesome in Glasgow, and we have a really good time at that. And it's one of the only times I get to actually let my hair down these days. So really cool, man. And his brands went, success to success. And even in lockdown, you're still getting, your beard's only gone away. Like things aren't changed. So
if anything, we're growing a couple of belters. I've seen some baby beards grown into full blown monsters during this. Right, we got another. I think we've got the whole. Is this the whole Hay family we've got in here today?
Are they all here? Are they? Oh, John's here.
There we go. I use my bra here for my hair. Great for women too. There you go. John is a whole new market out there. Let's get on this. I've got to ask. A couple of people are actually asking in the comments. What's the products you use? Because I know I've seen you using some of the hoodies and t-shirts and what have you. But what's some of the stuff you use for your face?
So I've got I think it's a 2019 in just now. I mean, 2019 at the minute, and I've come off, to be honest, he sent me a couple of new ones out that I'm just cycling through them now because that was me pretty much run out. And I'm bad for no badgering. Like, I never ask him. Always like, he's always like, you need it, and I'm like, actually, let me go and check. I'll shake it about and have a look. But I always get him to just send me random. I try not to ask of any specific type. So I'll rotate through them, and what I'll try and do is, I probably could have maybe 3 or 4 or something lined up and just be like, what will have the day? But I actually normally just stick to one and I just roll with it. Again, I think it's that mentality. I don't hoard stuff. I don't like gathering heaps of stuff. But the main things I use for JJ is actually the beard wash and obviously use the beard oils every day. The bath salts for my training, my recovery, which I haven't.
Bath salts are amazing. The bath salts are amazing.
You need them, for me, I'm in bits all the time. I'm falling in bits now, and it's one of the things that I forget how much it helps until I've done it, and then after it, I'm like, I need to be doing this way more than I do. And then the orange, was it chocolate orange beard, the butter?
Chocolate orange, oh God, it's so nice. It's so nice. I wish I could eat that. It smells bloody delicious.
I totally would eat it.
Well, you know something. Maybe we could get something hooked up with them selling bath salts at at like the what do you call it? The gift shop or something at the Ninja Warrior, because folk are going to need it, but in a good way.
I'm not totally after they walk out being like, guys, you're going to need something. Here's a complimentary sample because you're going to need it tomorrow.
Well, on that note, JJ, our boy Ali here needs some bath salts. We better get him hooked up. Mate, this has been an absolute blast. I'm going to come through. I'm going to check this out because this actually sounds amazing. It's gutted, man, because like I would have been at the Fringe right now and I could have came and checked it. I would have brought a whole bunch of comedians along, man. The mess they would have been in.
Think of the videos that you could film there, man. I'm thinking constantly about the virals that we could be making there. Never mind the virals. Like, we could be making some absolute classic there.
Next year, we'll get the Ladyboys of Bangkok. We'll get the Ladyboys of Bangkok to come along and try out the whole thing. They will be amazing at it as well. They will be amazing at it. They would be. Right, one last question. A couple of people have asked it as well. Obviously, you're still training during lockdown. Some people are getting out, they're walking, but they're still putting on a little bit of lockdown luggage. Any advice at this point as we're starting to come out of lockdown a wee bit? Any advice as any fitness during lockdown? Any advice you'd give to people just at this point?
I mean, it's tough, with everybody. I reckon probably 70%, 80% of people put on some sort of timber through this. It's just the way it is. But it's one of the ones now where you have to kind of look. People used to use holidays as goals. They used to use this, that, and the next thing as goals, weddings, and that. A lot of that's not there right now. And for me, this is kind of almost like a period for you to really stand by a conviction. Like, look at it and go, number one, do I need that or do I need that in my body? Probably not. I mean, right now, I'm a bit of a hypocrite speaking right now because I think I had like nearly 2 days off in the last 5 months. And right. I worked every day and I trained nigh on every day as well. And I was filling my body with nonsense just because I was tired. Quick crap. And that just makes you more tired because the stuff you put in is a fuel to keep yourself going. And mentally, it's really hard because we've all built up habits now. We've built up bad habits. We're back into workspaces. It might not even be your normal workspace. And it's still really easy for people to access what they don't want. So I say to folks, don't have it around you if you know it's something you shouldn't be having or, whatever. Then you make excuses for yourself because if you start doing it, that's it, game over. Obviously, the usual pest, there's no tomorrow and all that crap. But on a genuine note, just say to yourself, this is when it's gone. Then you say next Tuesday, make it like within the next 12 hours or something like that and say, this is how we're going to do it. We need to get back on this and get a bit more routine again. And if you're doing an hour walk, up it to an hour 15. If you're doing 100 press-ups or crunchies, make 150. Just suddenly put the bar up there, challenge yourself because we've all become pretty complacent, me included, and it's very easy to make excuses like.
Well, we've got a good one there. Peter Murphy says he's not putting on timber, he's putting a 3-log cabin. I know that him and the rest of the bikers would certainly come along and check out the Ninja Warrior adventure. That'll be a pretty good one. But look, mate, it's been an absolute blast. Where can people find out details about you? And where can people find out, or even book, if they want to book a private one just now, about the Ninja Warrior adventure? Where can people find out details?
So if you want to follow my progress and stuff, you're better on Instagram, to be honest. Just type in Ali Hay Ninja. You'll find me on there. And it's the same with Facebook, Ali Hay the Beard Ninja. For Edinburgh, you're just typing in Ninja Warrior UK.co.uk/Edinburgh/. Bang that in there. Or just type in Ninja Warrior Adventure and it'll come up in your Google search and it'll take you to the location. Have a little look. If you've got any questions, hit me up. I'm always on there. If you get a response, it's 99% it's going to be for me. And if any questions, sweet, fire away.
Awesome. Right. Well, I'll tell you what, Ali, I'm going to pop you in the green room and I'll just wrap things up. I'll talk to you in a minute. Everybody, give it up. Make sure to check out and follow Ali Hay, the Bearded Ninja. Fucking yes. All right, cheers. Right, everyone, that's all we got time for on this episode. We're going to be back next Monday, 8 o'clock. Make sure to tune in. Tell your pals. You can also listen to archive episodes on Spotify, and you can check out all the archive episodes as well right now over on Braw Beard's YouTube. Make sure to check out brawbeardoils.com as well. Get yourself some t-shirts, get yourself some vests, get yourself some training gear, get rid of the timber or the 3-log fire thing. Make sure to check that out. Oh, cheers, Lindsay. I really appreciate that. And don't forget to check out Ninja Warrior UK/Edinburgh as well. Get yourself over to Ali's thing. If you haven't had an opportunity, check out the pictures. It's going to be incredible. Right, quick plug for myself. What the fuck am I up to? I'm going to be back gigging this weekend at the Rotunda Drive-In in Glasgow. That's right, it's a live comedy gig. You sit in your car, you bring some pals, you bring some booze. You're going to bring in a designated driver, but it's live comedians right in front of you. We make it as interactive as we can. It's going to be great. And I'm going to be back doing live streams, comedy ones, hopefully towards the end of the month. And here's another one. From August 24th, we can do outdoor gigs. Now, we've got a couple lined up already. But if you're interested about booking some comedians or booking even me to come along and do a gig in your outdoor space, maybe it's a beer garden, maybe it's your back door, you can get in touch. It's nice and simple. Mr. Billy Kirkwood at hotmail.co.uk. You check it out, get in touch, hook something up. Right. That's all we've got time for. Enough plugs done. Make sure to look after yourself and share with your pals. Now, here's the bit we do in every single show. Can I play the credits without looking at the video? Can I do it? Can I do it? Can I do it?